Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 14 if I've got my maths right, and we're coming back for the earlier set of two games of the two that we suggested in the last episode, and there's a very good reason for it. You'll probably be able to notice it straight away. We are getting into a close playoff push now. We are playing a couple of sides who are one just sort of on the cusp on the outside of the playoff chase, and one that are very much in it, just above us in 5th place. Woking and Aldershot the opponents, but we've got to bounce back, probably for the first time in this career. We've got to bounce back from something devastating. We played National League Northside Gateshead in the FA Trophy last game. We lost 5-0, and I witnessed the first big defensive collapse of our career. So although we were missing a few star players, this is going to be a test for the momentum that we keep calling so important in FM22. If you're looking forward to finding out whether we can survive it, stay in the playoff push as of course the season enters the running, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from two long-term stories. We're on double uploads till the end of the week with Hemel at 11:30 and a head coach at 3:30. It's a very big end to the week in that one too, and then from next week both stories will rotate every day at 3:30, with FM Mobile taking centre stage from Tuesday in the morning slot. But a massive thank you for your support as always here and on the Twitch channel, which you can find in the eye above, as well as any of the playlists you may have missed. There's also a little bit of potential transfer news as well. So let's go and have a look first at that. No one coming in or out at the moment, but we've got a signing, and it's someone that we have been chasing for about 8 months. We went for them as soon as we played against his team in April last year in the National League South. We then tried to get him as our backup striker before renewing the loan of Brown Sterling, and he has declined a bit from not playing for half a year. But from the summer, where he wanted £750 a week and to be by far the top paid player at the club, he's now agreed to join on non-contract terms. That man is Dan Roberts. I don't know if any of you remember him. He was at Dartford last year. He was one of the top scorers in the division, so sort of a bit like Wrexham did, getting Rakish Bingham, who was top scorer at Ebbsfleet. He's not played for half a year, which is a concern. He made his debut off the bench in an awful performance at the weekend, but did get one of the best average ratings when he came on and actually made a little opportunity. And one clearance, which don't know what he's doing back there. But he's a decent striker. He's lost a little bit. His attributes were largely one higher in the summer. But I feel if we can get him back to his best, which he has got a little bit more potential, and he has got the chance to get fit, of course, I think we've got a decent backup striker on our hands. Certainly for next year, where we're not going to be able to get Brown Sterling again. And I do want to keep the costs manageable, because this is the first time with a semi-pro club in non-league I've ever run without making a loss during the course of the season. And I'm really proud of that. I feel it's important to us moving forward, because the earlier we can improve the facilities and the youth recruitment, the better chance we've got of doing really well in this save and actually making a top. So I'm taking a slightly different approach to ones I would have off camera years and years ago. I want to really focus on the side of the club off the pitch, and signings like this, for next to nothing, that can compete at the top level, are people that we're very happy to work with. So Dan Roberts, I'm delighted to welcome. What I'm not delighted about is the last game. It tarnishes what was a largely brilliant spell. Since you were last with me, we stayed unbeaten for the next 6 games. We drew 1-1 with Stockport at home. It was Ifeanyi who again got the goal, the never say die attitude, and what is now a brilliant winger. He's essentially first choice ahead of Marsh Brown the last month. He's been that good. He got the goal there to get us a point, albeit a red card helped us out a bit. We won 1-0 at Kings Lynn, and Marlio Brown Sterling got the goal after an hour. We actually were pretty poor in this game too. Matthew Carson picking up a knock. But we got the result. That's all that really matters in the end. A 0-0 draw at Barnet. Disappointing game. Not a great performance. I guess we haven't been vintage in the last couple of months. We've not been at our very best. But we've managed to get points, and that's what's been important. Another one there via a solid defensive display at Barnet. And interesting to see Harbot will be in the star of the show rather than Kopekwa for once. A 2-0 win against Maidenhead helped us back to form. Sedende got a brace, including a first from the penalty spot. Kopekwa was back to being the best player on the pitch. And we also had David Gregory to thank a couple of times. Against Dagenham and Redbridge, a 2-1 victory. Came back from behind yet again. Dobson got the winner after Mantum had equalised. No subs in that game. It was so tense. Honestly, one of the most even, solid defensive displays. I just couldn't risk taking anyone off, and I knew 4 days later against Halifax I could rest a few if I needed to. So I am changing my style as a manager very slightly. A 1-0 win followed away at Halifax Town. A really good result, and look who got the winner. Brian Ifeanyi is becoming a superstar in this team. And I'm almost looking now and thinking, forget what his ratings are, forget what his attributes are. We cannot go a season without him. And he's someone who I might try and sign permanently. Because I feel like form overrides everything. He's young, he's energetic, he's quick, and he's showing he's got some technical ability too. So could be a great signing for us moving forward. But then the calamity came. Now, this was not us playing Gateshead with a completely reserved side. This was not us playing Gateshead and playing basically to go out of the cup. Jack Senger and Harbottle, two of the first three centre-halves, partnered at the back. Fraser Shaw got us promoted last year, started the season as first choice. Harry Brook, arguably his first choice. Turner, arguably his first choice. Them two are Manton rotating the two midfield positions. Marsh Brown has been our first choice bar the last month. And it just all went wrong. You can see from the ratings, the only player who got a decent one was Samir Carruthers, who was playing in a holding role, so no idea how that managed to happen. But I think tactically we made a few errors there. There are some signs that say the backup fullbacks, Paul and Shaw, aren't good enough for this level. I think we'll let them go at the end of the year. And maybe we just got found out a little bit, because based on a few of the performances in the month before that, it would be fair to say that result's been coming. So I'm not completely surprised, but the manner of the collapse, you saw when we went 1 down, to then be 3 down after 20 minutes, to then concede 2 silly goals in the second half. It was just alarm bells ringing the whole day round. And I know we've got a couple of more friendly fixtures later in the month, the likes of Guiseley at the end of February, Darlington away the middle of March. But this is the sort of result that can lead to a collapse, and we need to make sure it doesn't. So we've had to come back for this one. I am still planning, if it all works out well, to maybe show Carlisle and Bromley, but I guess that will partly depend on how close the playoff race is and how we react in today's 2 games. So let's start with Woking away, a big fixture for us in the National League. Woking at the bottom of that group of sides that probably think they've still got an outside chance at the playoffs. 13 points away with 13 games to go. It's nothing in National League football. We all know that. We could well end up in 14th at this rate, but we could react and finish in 6th place and have playoffs at the end of the year. Let's go and start finding out which it's more likely to be, because we face Woking for the first game since our 5-0 defeat at Gateshead. And you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to make a lot of changes. I'll see you in a minute once they're done. And here we go. Not sure how many changes I've made in total. We'll have a look at that on the next screen in a minute. David Gregory keeps his place. Harbottle keeps his place. And then I think Brook is the only other one, so it might be 8 changes. We've got Gregory between the sticks, Simpson and Carson the fullbacks, Carson back fit again, which will be key. Kopeka and Harbottle the centre-halves. Ochieng, Brook and Mantum. I've gone for that solid, athletic, defensive duo in the middle. Just trying to keep a little bit of solidity here. And then Brian Ifeanyi back in on the right, Dobson back in on the left. And Victor Sedende, up to 13 goals now. He's going to start up front. On the bench, I've gone for more experience than normal. So Marsh Brown, Carruthers, Senger obviously has to stay there. Brown Sterling ahead of Roberts, and Oganteo, who's going to go in ahead of Ollie Turner, who drops out completely. He'll make a comeback in the next game, but for now, I want to be solid, I want to be dependable, I want to be fit and hard working. Now let's see if we can deliver. Anything other than a defeat after the Gateshead game, I think is a really great result. It is 8 changes, it's a big defeat to bounce back from. Now can we stop that rot in the momentum? And here is the Woking team, the likes of Dan Gardner, really solid professional midfielder, some good attacking players too, and Ryan Law at left back. Did we not have him at Bangor City last year briefly? Answers in the comments if we did, but let's head into this one. It's going to be a very tough match, and we want to see a big improvement. Whether we'll get it or not with a slightly more defensive setup, I don't know. If we concede an early goal, it could be difficult because we've sacrificed a bit of attacking talent, but I'm hopeful. These lads have never let us down for character until last Saturday. Now let's hope they don't do it twice in a row. Well, 15 minutes gone and it's a throw-in on the right-hand side for the hosts. They get it down the wing to Gardner, who crosses into Johnson, completely unmarked at the back stick. And I know it's very early in this game, but I'm really starting to worry that one performance that was so emphatic like that and had so many concerns in mentally, I just worry that the tide's going to turn. And I know it's a ridiculous thing to say. We're still unbeaten in the league in about a month and a half. But Woking are dominating the stats. And the performances have been getting worse. Maybe this season of big level football has been catching up with us. as the hosts work down the right again with Lofthouse to Gardner. To Lofthouse again, big ball into the back post, Johnson unmarked. What is Simpson doing at right back? I think next season I've already identified that as one of my big priorities. A new first choice right back, Simpson back up, Paul gone. And then of course as the ball's in from the corner, Harry Brook nearly saved us with a screamer there. And then a priority at left back is to get a good backup to Carson because he's not the fittest in the world and he goes on international duty. At half time, it's been a fairly even game. We've come back into it towards the end of the half, but it stays 1-0. Woking will be happy, and we can't really afford back-to-back defeats. We're going to ask for a better display, get into the second half, but it won't be long before we have to make some changes. As we're coming up towards the hour mark, so James Dobson corner, we know he's got set-piece delivery. Brian, the man getting on the end of it, heads just over the bar. But there are some positive signs. The performance is improving. I'm not sure it's improving quick enough or well enough. So let's go and make some changes. Try and change it by ourselves. Samir Carruthers will come on for Harry Brook. I'm going to put Mantum into the box-to-box role. Sedende up front. Do I go for the super sub? I think I have to. Because Sedende's not played well. And then at right back, Simpson's been awful. But I haven't got a sub. I haven't got someone who can play there. So I'm going to have to leave the last 10 more minutes. And then we'll think about what we'd want to do. Maybe on fitness rather than performance. As Simpson's got a throw on the right to Ifeanyi. He keeps the ball despite a foul on him. To the back post to James Dobson. That's the benefit of having a 6-foot winger. And that's the benefit of having a man in form on the other side. One crosses for the other. It's a brilliant header. And the never say die attitude is still here in the league. Despite what's happening in the cup. Harbottle's really struggling for fitness at the back. We might have to take him off. As hang on a minute. James Dobson's done it again. Aaron Simpson gets down the right wing. Curls a beautiful ball into the back stick. And just like that, it's plain sailing again. Oh, what a team. Why did I ever doubt them? Let's take Harbottle off because he's shattered. And it's better for me to have a backup centre-half than an unfit one in the team. So 15 minutes to go. We're 2-1 up. This is a really big last 15 minutes here as Gardner gets it on the left for Woking to Law, to Tilson on the edge of the box. Keeping it well, Woking. They've looked good in possession all game. They get it to Lofthouse in towards Johnson. And it's Aaron Simpson again, who just cannot compete with Johnson at the back post. We have to get a better right back next year. And not just a better right back, a taller right back. Someone who can compete aerially and physically because it's a big threat in the National League. In the end, as we said at the start, we've managed to avoid defeat and that is all that was the objective today. It's a solid point away to a very decent National League team. And to be honest, after the 5-0 crushing hammering at Gateshead at the weekend, it was really important that we got an outcome there. A point with Eastleigh's defeat puts us 5 points clear in the playoffs. There's some big sides like Chesterfield who have changed manager and are starting to find form now. But we've got to be pleased with that. The League of 4 are running away, and in fact, Notts County are a League of 1. They're going to break 100 points easily, aren't they? They need 15 from 12. But that's about as good as we could have hoped for. A point to stop the rot very quickly, and we'll be back in a minute because we've got a big game against 6th place Aldershot. We're back then to face Aldershot, and it is the start of another spell of 3 games in a week, and 3 big ones as well. We play Aldershot at the start of it at home. We play Eastleigh, who are 5 points behind us in 9th, at the end of it, a side that battered us on their patch 3-0. And in between, in midweek, we play Guiseley away. The temptation would be maybe to drop players to rest people, but what a chance it is to win an away game. So at the moment, I'm not sure what approach we're going to opt for. Let's go and get into this one and pick our team though, because again, keeping those little unbeaten runs going, picking up points in games where you don't deserve to, is really important. We did that against Woking. Now can we do it today? We'll be back in a minute with the lineup. Well, there is some good news actually that's come out of the fact that Brian Ifeanyi's got into the team and Marsh Brown, who today won't even make the squad, has dropped out. He's now reduced his contract demands and Marsh Brown will be staying another year as a result. And he's happy to be a squad player rather than an important one too. So that could be a positive. Brian is out of contract at the end of the season at his parent club. And I have to do everything in my power to keep him because he's been a superstar. And he has pretty much the same ability as well. So 2 good options out there. The team for today, though, sees just 1 change from the draw at Woking. That is Oliver Turner coming in for Harry Brook, who just needs a bit of a rest. It's a couple of poor performances in a row. And of course, he was one of the few that played in that Gateshead game. So Turner comes in at home to be a bit more of a playmaker. Does have the odd great game, but not consistent yet because we're not really playing in a way that suits him. We're playing on the back foot, we're countering, we're pressing high. Once we can get a better team in around him, I think he's the sort of player who improves. Having said that, for now, he's one of the men we're relying on today. Brook drops to the bench, and of course that means that Marsh Brown is out of the squad entirely. The rest of it stays the same. We just want to keep picking up points. If we can do it today, we stay right in that playoff mix. Let's go and see if we can do it. Well, plenty more changes for Aldershot today. Mark Mosley doing a good job there. They've dropped the likes of Toby Edser and Kevin Locko, which on paper seem like they might weaken the side, but of course we don't know what the other players' qualities are like. Cornell McDonald coming in is a very good player. He's in our Derby save. He's on loan from them, I presume, here as well. But he's a very good youngster, certainly National League level at the start, and a lot better than Aaron Simpson. Alex Kawamia, I remember for being electric quick in FM. So I think this is going to be a difficult task. They're going to counter us. They'll probably do so at speed. And I don't know if our fullbacks can cope. We've got a few of the lads motivated. We get into the big game. And it's a back three, which we always struggle against. Lewis Kinsella, I've just realised at left wing back. We had him on loan at Luton in real life once upon a time. But this is going to be difficult. 15 minutes gone. Aldershot having more of the ball. They're having the only chances. So a point might be a good result again here. Well, how about this? 5 minutes of the first half to go. We've seen nothing. But Kinsella wins a free kick from Bryant. And actually, he's trying to take it quick here. Look at that. I've not seen that from a delivered ball like that before. Normally you see the quick ones being the short kicks, but that was electric. Into Kawamia. Oh, that's class. And he's not just quick in this FM, he's got electric quality as well. What a whip delivery that was. Looked like it was almost going to be a cross for one point, but he puts it into the corner. He's still very quick, but got good technique. Certainly a decent finisher, and his long shot's very good too. He's proven all of that there. Maybe someone we'd like to keep an eye on. At half-time, it's been a nothing game. One shot on target for Aldershot, one goal. We've not created enough to say we deserve something from the match either. So this second half's going to be pretty big. I'd imagine Aldershot are going to prove their playoff credentials. And I did say this at the start of the season. I thought we'd eventually fall away. The momentum can't last forever. And the quality will get found out. Silly free kick conceded by Brian for the goal. It does have to be said. But to be honest, we've not had great quality up front. Sedende's going into another dry patch, so Brown Sterling on for him. If Bianyi's not had a good match at all, he'll be replaced by probably Oganteo, or do we leave it? Because we can just take him out of the team for the next game. In midfield, I'm going to go for Manton replaced by Brook, and it may be Carruthers as well. Bring on a bit more experience in the middle. Let's do it. 2 changes in centre mid, 1 up front. And 25 minutes to get back into the game. As we've got a throw on the right hand side with Simpson in a fairly advanced position. Plays a 1-2 with Harry Brook out to Ifianyi. Trying to make up for that free kick he gave away. In towards Dobson. Always winning those headers at the back stick. But this one goes just over the bar. We've got 15 to go, so we're going to go positive. We'll try and get on the front foot and encourage the lads. But in truth, this is how our National League season's been. 80% of the games have been very, very even. And we've just tried to sneak out on top in a few of them. This one, it looks like it's going to go the other way, but not a disastrous performance. Probably a better one than a Woking game, if we're being honest. We've just not got that goal threat, and 1 or 2 players out of form means a very bad day. If Yanni's performance means that Marsh Brown can come back in when he gets his new contract, we might give Carruthers a run, you know. He's very rarely let us down performance-wise. And Kopekwa, he's going to have to rest against Guiseley in midweek. And the question for me, one is, why does he struggle so much physically? Because his natural fitness and his stamina's pretty good. But secondly, it has to come down to, can we win at the bottom side without him? As if Yanni puts in Brown Sterling, almost a last-ditch equaliser. But maybe this is the start of a difficult run. 1 point in 2 games in the National League. Of course, a crushing defeat we suffered in the FA Trophy. We're now just 2 points ahead of Chesterfield in 8th place and 5 ahead of Eastleigh, who we play next weekend. And don't forget, we're coming into a run of really tough games. Take away Guiseley and Darlington, which are both on the road. Eastleigh are in 9th place. Carlisle are in the top 4. Bromley are 5th. Notts County are top. Even Torquay and Hartlepool and Chesterfield are all in that chasing pack. So after we play Darlington on the 11th of March, I think the next bottom half sides we play are Wealdstone and Kings Lynn, unless Hartlepool are still down there. So they are a little bit lower. but the rest of it is largely top 10 opposition with Hayham from now to the end of the season. So I think it might be a difficult ending. Regardless, it's been a great season. I'm going to show 2 more episodes because I think with this playoff race going down to the wire, it's important I show you as much as possible. So Carlisle and Bromley will be the next episode. We'll get through the next 3 off camera. And then of course we'll do the final 2 as well, which might be what it hinges on, based on the fact we've got so many top sides between now and then. But if you did enjoy this episode, 2 spirited displays, but not really a lot of quality, please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. Of course, the final 2 episodes on the beta schedule from this one will be Saturday and Sunday at 11:30 with our final 2 regular season episodes from Hemel Hempstead. But will it be playoffs, a season review, or a transfer special to start next week? If you want to find out, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. Daily episodes from 2 long-term stories. We start rotating them next week with the full games release, but there's also FM Mobile to look forward to there too. There's a Data Hub special in the eye above if you missed it last weekend, as well as the Twitch channel where we've got regular live streams. A big one tonight as we're showing an FA Cup special and playing FM22, so come and join us there from 6 PM if you can. But a massive thank you for watching, your continued support as always, it is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time as the playoff chase continues, but are we the side that risks falling away? I'll see you next time to find out.